Alrighty, here we are.
Finally. Okay. Folks, it's that time. Thank you once again for deciding to press play and join in the tomfoolery that is It's All Frolics.
Yeah.
And if today is a very special day. It's a very special day because if you've been listening from day one, you have probably heard this person's name throughout. Because even though she's not here, she's here.
She's always here.
But today she is really here. She is mic'd up. She is on screen. She is Kay. First official guest. Welcome. Oh yeah, and it's me, Monique, and her Amy.
Yeah.
But you know what's ready.
The usual.
Welcome.
Thank you,
lady.
Yeah.
Thank you very, very much. I am honored to be here, to be part of the conversation, actually, rather than in my head.
Life.
I am so honored.
We're so glad to have you. And it's, absolutely fitting that you were the first guest, I think.
Yes.
So, yeah. Thanks for coming in today.
Yeah, I'm here. Medea, okay.
All right, well, as you already know, because you're always tuned in with us, but for those that don't, we typically kick things off with a warm-up. And you're doing the warm-up, Kay. So let us know. We're passing it over to you. What are we doing? We are excited. We have the requested props ready.
We're ready.
So what are we doing, babes?
Okay.
What are we doing?
So I thought I'm excited to be doing this, by the way. And the game that we are playing today is called 2 Lies and 1 Truth.
No word of a lie. I was thinking about this morning as a potential game. That is nuts.
Always happens somehow, some way. There is a connection.
Always.
I mean, it's been happening for so many years. It's been happening for so many years. So I guess we're kind of used to it, but it still surprises us.
Yeah.
Okay. So the aim of the game is to put your letter up for the one you think is a lie.
Okay.
Not what you think is the truth.
Okay.
Repeat back the instructions to me.
Well, we know who needs to repeat them.
Listen, you just got here, okay? Don't come with the shade so soon. We're like 4 minutes in.
I'm trying.
I know how to play it. Okay, so if it's the truth, I put up the letter, yeah?
I know that was like, yeah. Trying to be cute and funny.
Okay, here we go. Right, I have 10 questions for you. And 3 bonus questions. Okay. Right. Question number 1. I have seen with my own 2 eyes in person, A, the White House, B, the Northern Lights, or C, the Eiffel Tower. Which one is a lie?
Yo, I don't know this. So I'm going to go with this.
The answer is C. Yes. 1 point to Amy.
Listen, I was so confident about my answer as well.
I don't know why I went for C, but I know B is absolute. And C, you've been to America a bit, so that's why.
Yes.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Round 2.
This is making me nervous, boy. Ooh, Lord.
Well, this is the first time we've been competing. against each other. So it's different dynamics, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, number 2. I studied at A, the University of Bristol, B, the University of Manchester, or C, the University of Hertfordshire. Which one is the lie?
What was it? Bristol, Manchester, Hertfordshire.
University of Bristol, University of Manchester, University of Hertfordshire.
Sorry for the listeners, B. I'd chosen B.
B. Yes, B.
The lie is A.
Really?
But you went to Bristol.
I studied at the University of the West of England in Bristol, but not at the University of Bristol.
Oh, but did you study at the University of Manchester?
Earlier this year.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
I was so confident.
Girl.
Oh, it's okay.
All right.
It's okay. We're only 2 questions in.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm winning, so.
Stop it.
I only did that to get a rise out of Mo. I don't care. It's the taking part that counts.
Yes, but also the winning. Next question.
Question number 3. I have been to A, Sweden, B, Norway, C, Denmark. Which one is the lie?
One more time.
A, Sweden, B, Norway, C, Denmark. Which one is the lie?
Oh, I think it's B.
I was going to go for the same.
Ding, ding, ding. B is the correct answer. Okay, 1 point each. Amy's still winning. That's okay. Okay, I won't mention it again until the end. Okay?
She'll be taking count anyway. Mentally.
Okay, question number 4.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
I attended the same secondary school as, not at the same time. I'm just putting that out there when you hear the answers, okay?
Okay.
Mutia and Keisha from Sugar Babes. A, sorry, that was A. B, George Michael. C, Raheem Sterling. Which one is the lie?
B.
I'm going to go for C.
C is the correct answer.
What?
Raheem Sterling went to a school in Northwest London, but not Kingsbury High. Apparently, George Michael went to Kingsbury High.
That's wild.
The only reason I gathered that is because he's a North London boy, but Kingsbury is not technically North London. It's more northwest-ish.
Yes.
I would have thought more like, and
Golders
Green. Yeah, Golders Green area, Enfield Way.
Yeah, went to Kingsbury High and Row Green Primary School.
Listen, I'm learning something as well. Yeah.
I know. Thank you.
Hey.
Okay, question number 5. I share a birthday with, date, not year. A, Mandy Moore. C, Cynthia Nixon. C, B, Cynthia Nixon. Or C, Babyface. Which one is the lie?
Mandy Moore, Cynthia Nixon, Babyface.
I'm going to go with A. I don't know the answers,
I'm going to go
with
C.
A.
B.
Cynthia Nixon.
Cynthia. She's the 9th of April.
Okay.
If you knew how hard it was to find out things that you guys knew but did not know about me, it's tough.
It is, isn't it? Because you forget, I suppose, because we've been friends for so long, you forget what you've actually divulged to people.
Yeah.
Like when I did the one with Mo, I was like, say, for example, the Bombay Bicycle Club one, I was adamant that she probably wouldn't even know that. And yet, surprise, surprise.
With a quickness as well. That one was with a quickness.
I know. Okay. She's like, a band, Bombay Bicycle. I was just like, holy shit, okay.
I was so proud of her. I was so proud.
Me too. I knew that one shocked you.
Yeah, I mean, I did the all-time favorite phase.
Oh, dear. Okay. Question number 6. I have currently in my possession, in my house, a VHS tape of A, Dirty Dancing, B, The 5 Heartbeats, or C, The Little Hero of Shaolin Temple. Which one is the lie?
Oh, God. That is hard. Because I know you like all that trash. Those movies, rather, sorry.
That too.
Savage. Straight into judgment.
Dirty Dancing. What was it? Sorry?
The 5 Heartbeats.
5 Heartbeats.
And the last one was something about the Shaolin Temple.
The Little Hero of Shaolin Temple.
I think it's B, 5 Heartbeats.
C, The Little Hero of Shaolin Temple. I know. I don't have many videos. 3 is all I have.
No, those are the videos.
No, she doesn't have a C.
What's the other one? What's the other one?
Sarafina. It's a Whoopi Goldberg movie. Very old, clearly.
First one.
Okay. Come on, guys. You can get more points somewhere. Question number 7. Household chore I do not mind doing. A, ironing. B, taking out the bin. C, washing dishes. Which one is the lie?
A.
B. It's B. I hate taking out the bin. Who wants
Since
to take out the bin?
When did you like to iron? When did you change?
I don't mind it when I have to do
it.
Because I raised this A with memories. Okay.
Listen. Growth, right? She's a grown woman.
That's my question. When did you change? When did we bloom?
Okay, hold on. I don't like to iron all the time, but when I have to do it, when I am forced to, when there is no way to wear that outfit without ironing, I'm okay.
Okay.
Needs must. Right? Okay. Question number 8. What? Oh. Guilty pleasure bands from my teens. And when I say from my teens, it may have extended into my 30s and potentially into my 40s.
Yesterday.
A, S Club 7. B, Westlife. C, Boyzone. Which one is the lie?
Ooh. C.
Yay! Ding, ding, ding! Well done,
I remember the S Club 7 debate that we used to have often.
There is nothing wrong with their positivity in their music, okay?
And that's the argument you have maintained
for many years. Mm-hmm. Nothing wrong with S Club.
I'm going to let you have it. Everyone deserves joy.
Right. Okay. This one be tricky.
Ooh.
Which movie is in my top 5 of Marvel movies?
I'm out.
A.
You may get it. Remember, it's the lie.
Exactly. A, Black Panther. B, Captain America Winter Soldier. C, Black Widow. Which one is in my top 5? Which one is the lie? As it's not in my top 5 of Marvel movies that I like to watch. A, Black Panther. B, Captain America Winter Soldier. C, Black Widow.
Do you know, this is testing me, but I don't know. I think it's B.
C, because Black Widow was so trash.
Okay.
It was so trash.
So although I held up C and I said, I bet it's B, the reason was because of the way that you said Winter Soldier.
And that's why I held it up.
How did I say?
Right?
It was just,
so I thought that would be the trick.
But it's just the way that you said it. But I went with C because it's also, I have the same feelings.
I know.
Yeah, because you're not in the
I'm not.
club.
It's
I'm
okay.
really not.
The next one is for you both. Okay, it's for you both.
Okay.
Question number 10. Who did I crush upon as a teen? A, Method Man. B, Nas. C, Ja Rule. Which one is the lie? Bing, ding, ding, ding.
C. Sorry, we didn't say it. C.
C.
I was just like, whoever's coming up next is it. Because Method Man is still a crush. Like, yum me.
Husband.
Nas. Oh, man.
I can't do them
Nas, he's super
anymore.
cute.
No,
But
not
Ja
anymore.
Rule. So
I
who's the
don't know
crush now?
anyone that had. You know, when I was thinking about that, I was thinking, like, who would I say is my crush now? And I would probably say that I have more females on my crush list than I do men at the moment.
Big facts.
Just the way it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Like I'm crushing on America Ferrera. That's her name, right?
Yeah. She's cute.
She's looking very cute right now.
Yeah.
Issa Rae, always very cute, you know?
I love Issa. I want to
But
be her
no
friend
men.
so bad. I'm not really a big friend. As you know, I don't like much people, but I want to be her friend so bad. She's so cool. Let me not start talking about her because that will be the episode.
Dedication too.
Literally.
Okay, so some bonus rounds to try and make up some points because Amy is currently on
Killing
7.
7 points.
Monique is currently on 3.
Oh,
Even with them, girl, I still won.
It's
Let's
a wrap.
help her though.
It's
Okay,
a
we
wrap.
don't have to. It'll be interesting.
I'm interested in the questions. Let's go.
Yeah, because I'm learning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which girl group did I imagine I was a part of in my teens?
Ooh.
Oh my God.
A, Escape. B, 3LW. C, Total. Which one is the lie?
Escape.
I'm gonna go for
3LW.
C.
I'm gonna go with A.
A is the correct answer.
Yay!
Well done.
I remember the 3LW days, and I know Total's got one of your favorite songs ever. So yeah.
Sing it all the time. Okay, this one is okay. Who would I love to have dinner with? A, Michelle Obama. B, Sarah Jakes Roberts, who is TD Jakes' daughter. Or C, Mariah Carey. Which one is the lie?
I'm going to go with this one because I don't know who this is.
I'm going to say C.
C is the correct answer.
Woo!
Come on, let's close that gap.
I love Mariah, but I don't want to meet Mariah.
Yeah, for real.
Oh, it's one of those never meet your heroes kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I don't think you've got enough lighting anyway to support the encounter. So.
Nope.
I don't think anyone does.
No. She'll bring her own anyway.
True.
Yeah. Don't meet your heroes. Okay, final question. I have an account with A, Hotmail, B, Yahoo, C, Gmail. Which one is the lie?
B for
I'm
me.
I'm going to say, wait, Hotmail, Gmail.
Woo!
A. Okay.
I didn't need to win. I just needed to close the gap.
You did. You did well. Those bonus ones helped you. Well done, well done.
To the joy.
Such a child.
To Kay being on.
That was
thank
cool.
you for
Well
participating in my game.
So fun. Thank you very much.
Oh, man.
Like I said, it was hard to find things that were like 2 of the things were true and 1 of them was a lie. It was like, and then you didn't really know. Tough.
Lots of thought and effort in that. Really appreciate it.
Yes.
It took me weeks.
Listen, that's why we're running out, because we're doing this on a weekly basis.
Literally.
Fair.
Literally. I like
I
that
can
we
try
had
and
to
help.
make props as well. I need to think of
Yeah.
that for next time. Yeah.
Yay.
But also have to
Yay.
remember we've got to say the answer because sorry, listeners, might have been a bit patchy for you.
Apologies.
Yay.
Deal.
This is going to be a real interesting one.
I don't want to do it.
Well, I just took a sip of water.
Okay, I think it's about that time that we take our positions on the diving board. And see if we can get a synchronized dip as we take a deep dive.
Again, it's nice to do it with you guys rather than me just listening and doing it by myself.
Oh, I love that you do it listening. That's so fun.
Oh my gosh. It's when you get the flurry of messages coming through as you're listening. That is like just like bing, 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 and the shades and all of that. Why don't you remember this?
I love giving my feedback.
Yes, and it's appreciated. Thank you. Keep it coming. Did you hear that, other listeners? Feedback. Send it on. We love it.
Feedback. We do. It's so much fun.
So this week's deep dive is courtesy of one of our
special
guest,
guest.
of our special guest. So yeah, this week we're deep diving in on relationship languages. So our love languages, our apology languages, our forgiveness languages. Do you know what? As you are the special guest, why don't you kick us off with your love
answers.
Language? Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So yes, I suggested this one. Apologies in advance. It would have been this or another awkward question to answer. So why not go with this one? Okay, so when I mean, love languages, we've all done the quiz over the years and stuff like that. So when I looked at that, I do know that my love languages change, but I think we were looking at something recently and it was basically saying that how you show love, how you want to receive it. So when I thought about how I want to receive love, I thought about more how I give love to you guys being my friends, family, and stuff like that. And I realized that my giving love languages is acts of service and words of affirmation. But I didn't really like the affirmation part of it. So I'm going to slightly change it to words of encouragement instead of affirmation. I think the affirmation comes, but I'm more of the encourager. Like, you can do this, rather than the I believe in you, that kind of switch.
Okay.
So yeah, those were my love languages. Although I like to receive.
Before we move on, shall we just recap on what the 5 love languages actually are so people are aware of them if they're not already?
Good idea. Yes. So you've got acts of service, words of affirmation, quality time, gifts, and physical touch.
Thank you.
Yeah, I realized though, as much as I like giving acts of service and words of affirmation, I'm not so great at receiving them. So something I need to maybe think about and work on. I'm okay to give. I'm not great at receiving.
I mean, do they have to match though? Because I think it maybe just comes down to comfortability. Like, my love language in terms of how I like to receive it is also acts of service. Like, you can tell me all of the things, but I want to see all of the things. Like, that's how I know you really mean it. Like, do the things. For me, I feel like I think that takes a little bit more effort. Like, it's easy to say things and, I was going to say it's easy to spend time with people, but busy schedules, maybe it's not. But so for me, acts of service is how I think I'd like to receive love. But in terms of giving it, I think I'm kind of the same as UK in terms of like the encourager. Like I feel like I'm a cheerleader for everyone, really. You know, I feel like I can the people that I have in my life, I just feel like they're all frigging fabulous and are brimming with potential. And I just want to see them do great things, you know, and also just feel good about themselves. So I actually get a lot of enjoyment by like gassing people up and kind of have them like raring to go. But for me to receive that, nah. I can't. I have a great deal of that doesn't make sense. It's difficult for me to receive that type of encouragement. Like it's very uncomfortable and I have to sit and purposefully like take that in because I can, you know, brush that off very easily. But I remember hearing something I think it might have been in that book by Vex. What's his name? Vex King, about how actually kind of rude it is to brush away compliments and words of encouragement because, you know, that person has taken the time to kind of pour into you, you know, and to just brush it off. It's almost like rejecting a gift, you know? So I do try to be more intentional about taking in what's been said because really, whoever said it didn't have to say anything at all. They could have just kept on going with their day, you know? So something that I definitely want to work on. But my knee-jerk reaction is to be like, oh no, you've got it all wrong. You're crazy. You can't not be talking about me. Surely not.
It's funny you say that actually in terms
Surely
of your
not.
yeah. It's funny you say that about acts of service, receiving acts of service, because I think I remember you telling me one time, it's like, don't ask me what I need help with. Just observe with your own eyes and just do it. You can see what I need help with. So just do the help rather than just, you know, be like talking about, oh, do you need help with something? It's like, you can see me struggling up the stairs with this stuff. Just help me, you know?
Literally. And I mean, to be fair, that is quite specific with romantic relationships, though. Actually, it's very specific to romantic relationships because if we're sharing the same space and you like know what the routine is, you know the things that I'm doing, you know what needs to be done. You have to know what needs to be done because, okay, this is me reflecting on past experiences now. I used to get told a lot that I'm not spending enough time with that person. And it's just, I wasn't able to do it because there were things that needed to be done before I could relax in the evening. So it's just like, instead of complaining that I'm not spending time with you, help me do the things that are taking up that time and then we can have more together. So acts of service in that respect for me is necessary. But I, with friends that want to help, even then, actually, I find that difficult to accept without feeling like I must instantly repay that back. Like there's like this knee-jerk reaction, like, okay, I've got to do something for you now because you've done this thing for me.
Yeah.
So I actually need to think what my friendship love language actually, because it is different from my romantic one. Yeah.
I think when you're taking the quiz anyway, in regards to love language, I think your head's usually in the space of romantic relationship. No, at least that's definitely where mine is. I have the same love language as the two of you. Like mine is absolute top acts of service. And I don't know if that's the same love language that I offer. I need to reflect on that, but it's definitely one that I would like to receive. The same breath of kind of, I cannot relax. I cannot allow myself to relax if I have a list of things that need to be done. And I struggle with accepting help if you're asking me what needs to be done, because I'm just like, by the time I tell you, I could have done it.
Yeah.
So just use your eyes.
Yeah.
What needs to be done that I'm constantly doing that you can pick up without asking me, because that's what's going to help. And that's going to show me that my time is valued, because you're doing the things that need to be done. And I think that has always been my love language, is someone just doing the things that I don't need, like, I suppose sharing the load, but without asking me what that load is. Because I feel as though I'm a control freak. We know, I've spoken about it many times. So if I'm having to be like, this is what needs to be done to this standard, already that's added extra onto my lap, and I can't be bothered. So I just might as well do it. But it's also something that I'm conscious of, that I have these standards and I want things done to a certain level. That makes my life harder, because it means other people can't help me, because it's never going to be what I want it to be. So that is something that I have to work on. Either I do it myself and keep my mouth shut about having to do everything myself and just accept that that's what it is, or I allow people to do the jobs as they do them and be happy with that. To be continued with that one.
That's a tough one, though. It is a tough one. I think I've learned a little bit more of that in parenting. You know, it's like, as you're teaching your child how to do something, it's like you don't have the expectation that they're going to get it right 100%, you know, exactly the way you want it. So yeah, maybe you'll tidy it up a bit later or something like that. Do you know what I mean? But we don't seem to extend the same grace to another fully grown adult as we do children.
Yeah. I think the thing is as well is it's not just about, like, acts of service isn't just about picking up the laundry or like doing all of those bits and pieces. It's just doing something on another person's behalf to make their life that little bit easier. And I think that for myself in the past, there have been promises of things being done and then they're not done. And that disappoints me more than you not asking me to do them in the first place. So I think I have over the years built up this guard of, the expectation is if someone says they're going to do something for me, it's not going to get done. And so I'm extra disappointing myself. But that's also something I'm having to learn to let go of, as with the standards thing of just, I guess, there was a long period of time where I was single and therefore doing all of this stuff on my own. And as a process of being in a relationship is changing those expectations of myself also, of knowing that I have someone who can do these and I don't have to do them all myself. The biggest struggle is time, when they get done. That's the biggest thing for me. I know they'll get done, just not necessarily on my schedule. But it's all of these things you have to kind of learn about yourself, and it's another process of healing. And I suppose loving yourself, learning the language or love language for yourself. You know, in terms of doing that. Words of affirmations were quite low on my scorings.
Oh, okay.
Needing them, I think, just because I'm much more about actions than words. So you can show me without having to tell me. So yeah, that's where I've come from in my love language.
What was high with acts of service?
Well, the next one. Quality time, which is an interesting one for me, seeing as I'm never alone. But I guess it's the quality aspect of it, like, you know, doing things together. Like, obviously we play tennis now together, and we, as of last year, made an effort to have more dates, like actual going out on dates and planning them for each other, which kind of dipped around summer. We stopped really making more of an effort because actually we were away a lot. So it kind of tied in with the fact that we were going somewhere together. But yeah, quality time. I think that for me stems from my past relationship where he was always on his phone when we were together, like working, but there was never a moment where he wasn't distracted. And that really impacted me in regards to, am I not enough? Which is a whole other podcast.
Show itself.
So I think that is something that I'm still working on. I love spending time where it's just us focusing on something. And I still kind of pick up on me, like when we're eating, we're watching a show. It's, or after we're eating, then we're watching a show. And we don't spend as much time now as we did when we first started seeing each other, of just one-on-one time when we're talking to each other. So that's something that I'm keen to do more of. But that's me, because I'm like, I want to talk about the feelings. I want to talk about the stuff, like I hit that when we're in bed and it's like lights out. I'm like, so what's your favorite thing about me? And he's like, shut up and go to sleep. Now is not the time.
Bless him.
Oh gosh. I don't know. I feel like I've been out of a relationship so long. It would be interesting to see if these love languages are actually the same, like once I'm in another one, because as much as, I think acts of service will probably still be quite high. I think that's bone deep at this point. But I couldn't say like what the next highest one would be, whether it would be quality time, whether it would be, is it gifts? What's that one called again?
Gifts, yeah.
Gifts,
receiving
basically.
Gifts.
Yeah, that would be something that I would like to get used to, actually. Because
receiving gifts.
Yeah, because I'm not kind of person that's just like, oh no, don't buy me anything. But I think that just comes from a place of, feeling unworthy and low self-esteem. Because listen, low self-esteem and no boundaries will have you in real sticky situations. And I've been in sticky situations and it's not great. So yeah, that would be something that I'd like to feel different about, actually. So I'm going to feedback to you on that one when that eventually happens. But yeah, it's interesting. So again, I just don't know if they'll be the same this time around. I know myself in a completely different way now. So it just feels like it's almost like a clean slate almost. Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking. Oh yeah, definitely. I was thinking it's interesting that we all have acts of service because we are so used to doing the things that need to get done, whether we have a list written down mentally, whatever. We see something needs to get done, we're going to get it done. We see the gaps. Like what needs to be filled, what needs to be touched up, what needs to be sorted. So yeah.
I wonder how much of that is. I was just going to relate it to our star sign, like, the leaders, being the ones who are like just gung ho, getting things done, taking the lead on things. I wonder how much of that, like in terms of the way that we just, if we see something, we just do it. How much of that is related?
Yeah,
be interesting.
But there really is that thing about it being done a specific way. It's like, that is such a hurdle. That is such a hurdle to get over. It's like, do you want the thing done or do you want it exactly the way you want it done? Like, it really is a decision to make. And I feel the more that we can kind of lean into, well, the thing's been done, we've got more time to do something else, or we can do something, or we can just sit down. That will be like a freeing space to move into. I think that was one thing that I learned in a previous relationship. It was just like, it's never going to get done the way that you want it to get done because you are not the one doing it. You cannot expect you from other people. You're immediately setting yourself up and the other person up to expect it to be done the way that you want it. It's not going to happen. So it either gets done some kind of way or you do it yourself. Simple. But because it's so bone deep and it's one of our drivers, it's hard to lean on that side.
Or you have option number C, which is you let them do it and then just correct it later. So you're not actually doing 100% of the work. You could be doing roughly between 20, 25 to 50%. You're still getting more time back.
Yeah.
True.
Growth area. That's a growth area for me.
All right.
I know it.
And that is, listen, that's half the, that's half the, not half
battle
the problem,
one.
Half the battle. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Vocabulary. Apology languages.
This one, boy, first of all, where did this come from, this question? Because you posed this randomly.
I saw a video on Instagram. Isn't it always the way?
Yeah, it stirs up questions, doesn't it?
For real.
You know, people be talking about all sorts of things and then you're like, oh, wait, I never thought about that before. How do I? Do I even?
Yes.
So with regards to apology languages, I did the quiz. I didn't even realize there was a quiz before the quiz came out, that there was a quiz.
Same.
And so there are, this one is, I think it's less about like, you know, love languages, you know, in terms of, you know, you pick the ones that more suited to you. It's more about which ones are you more prominent to do. So there were 5 as well. Expressing regret, request forgiveness, planned change, make restitution, and accept responsibility. So for me, my primary one was to accept responsibility, closely followed by make restitution.
Interesting.
Yeah. And it was interesting reading about it because, you know, and again, I was thinking about like, one, I don't really have many arguments with people. Do you know what I mean? In that type of way. So
that part.
It doesn't really have to happen that often. You know, I'm more of a, does it matter? Will it matter in 5 minutes? Will it matter in 5 years? You know, that type of thing. If it will matter in 5 years, maybe, but will it really matter in 5 years? So I kind of let a lot of things go. But the accept responsibility, I think that's something, you know, maybe it's something based on, you know, how I am at work as well. You know, I take a lot on my shoulders in terms of work, how we do, how we perform, how we deliver for our clients, you know, that type of thing. So I'm used to accepting responsibility. So it doesn't feel like a chore when I have to say, actually, we did not deliver. You know, it doesn't irk me inside or anything like that. It's just like, okay, now that we've moved past that, because, you know, you can spend a lot of time going back and forth of, well, I did this, but you did that. And then but you did this. And it's like, okay, I did wrong. Now that we're past that, can we move on? You know, like, let's move on to something more positive than staying in that negative type of space. So yeah, accepting responsibility. I wasn't shocked that was, you know, high for me.
I got the same one, accountability. For me, I feel like accountability is like the foundation to build and forgiveness and everything else upon. Because if you've done wrong, for me personally, I need to know that you know what was done wrong. Otherwise, you're just saying things to move past this. Whereas if there is accountability, then there's like an understanding of the action that was taken or wasn't taken, and therefore technically should make it easier for there not to be a reoccurrence in the future. But I personally, like, I don't really need, what was the other one? See, my accept responsibility was high, and then that was followed by planned change.
Okay.
Which I don't know. I mean, what does planned change what does planned change mean? Just like saying all of the things that we're going to do to...
What are you going to do different?
But it's not just about
what are you going to
saying
do
it.
differently?
Yeah, I think planned, the fact that it's got the planned part of it, it's like actually, you know, you're really taking the steps to say, like identifying what needs to be changed and how you're planning on making the changes.
Okay. I see the planned part is what tripped me up, because I'm just like, for me, I'm hearing that as words are just being said, like, and that's not going to do anything for me. But changed behavior, absolutely. Because that for me is like the immediate follow on from accepting accountability. This is where I messed up, and here is what I'm putting in place, or here's what I'm doing so that does not happen again. For me, that kind of reinforces reinforces the apology, I guess, accepting accountability. So yeah, I definitely need that. Again, I've not had too many instances where I've kind of had this apology made.
Or had to do it.
Or had to do it. Oh no, I have had to. See, I'm trying to think of this incident, but I have had to. And you just have to eat the humble pie, man. You just have to say, look, I really effed up. And, you know, sometimes I don't even really think that the reason why is even
relevant.
I guess some people want to hear that, but I don't really know that it's relevant, because it's been done already. You know, the reasons why, it don't matter. The thing happened. It was said, it was not said, it was whatever. But just really owning it. And for me, that's just like the truest type of apology. Don't want to hear the reasons why. And also asking for forgiveness. I feel a bit weird about that as well, because for me, that's very much about the person. It's not about me, the one that's being wronged. You know, you don't really... I don't want to say you don't really care about me, but that's more about you feeling better about yourself for what you've done, as opposed to me being on the receiving end of action. So asking for forgiveness is always going to put a weird taste in my mouth, because forgiveness isn't an obligation. You know, if I want to hold this grudge forever, I don't hold grudges, but if I want to hold a grudge forever, I'm allowed to do that, you know? So... And also, I feel like asking for forgiveness is just kind of a way of trying to rush past the whole incident.
Yeah.
You know? I've just moved into forgiveness there, sorry. But yeah, just let me know that you messed up. Let me know that you understand how it affected me, and give me the space to work through it and forgive you if I choose to.
What about
you, Ames? What's your apology language?
Mine was the other way around. So I got planned change as my top. But it's interesting, like hearing you both talk about it, I'm thinking about how I approached it, because I interpreted this as how I like to receive apologies. And because I don't feel like I get into rifts with many people. Like I, to be honest, one, I don't like confrontation. And two, I feel like anything can be talked through with the right people. And if it can't be, then no apology is ever going to make a difference. So yeah, for me, it was plan change and then accept responsibility. I got nothing for request forgiveness. Because if you're asking me to forgive you straight up and nothing else has been done, I'm just like, that you haven't even acknowledged something is wrong.
Yeah.
You know, please, can you forgive me? For what? What are you going to do differently? You know, there has to be some learning in this whole thing. So yeah, plan change is a big thing for me. I don't want to hear the words. I want to see the action. You know,
which is
like
closely tied to acts of service. Literally acts of service twin.
And yeah, exactly. So I feel like, but that's also for me. I want to, if I've done something, of course I'm going to accept response. I think that's a standard. I'm going to accept the responsibility, my responsibility in whatever's I've done to hurt your feelings or whatever. I'm going to recognize, I want to know what impact it's had on you. And I'm not going to ask you how to make it better. I'm just going to, okay, so what do I need to do differently so that never happens again? Like, this is what I'm thinking, but also your input on it. And I also want to check in and make sure that my behavior has changed. That's something I've definitely learned from my first ever boyfriend. When we had arguments, like, I remember him saying, I do all of these things to be different. You are the same. We have the arguments the same. Your behavior is the same. And I was just like, thank you very much for your exit feedback. I will take that on. But it only clicked when I went into my next relationship. I was like, okay, that I'm not going to do. If we're disagreeing on something, then I need to change my behavior as a result of this conversation. And even our argument styles were very different. First time round, it was all slanging, shouting, all of this stuff. I felt very EastEnders. And then the second one was much more grown conversation, you know? Yeah. But even then, like, my apology, I felt uncomfortable expressing regrets or taking responsibility. Like, it's not that I didn't believe I was wrong. I couldn't say it. I couldn't say the words, like, which is so bizarre to reflect on now, how difficult it was for me to be like, I was in the wrong there. I just dig my heels in. No, bitch, you're the one who's in the wrong.
Yeah.
You know, just like, no, I'm not going to admit to that. But now, learn from both of those relationships about, okay, how am I communicating this? How is it coming across? What can I do differently so that that doesn't happen next time? And if it does happen next time, then what can I do differently again? Is it something that perhaps our communication isn't right, or the environment isn't right? So all of these things to reflect on. This is big people stuff, man. Growth.
It is.
Totally.
And there's a whole thing as well about argument style as well, because you might have that one person that's slanging it, that's swearing it down, and then you have the other person that just wants to talk it through. And you kind of have to find that middle, that language in the middle, you know, or even come up with your own relationship style of doing things, because you know, you're two completely separate individuals coming together. So different experiences, different upbringings, different tolerance levels for certain things as well. Because if you're going to shout at me, you're not going to get anything for me. I'm out. I'm not listening. I can just hear the disrespect and the point has gone. So, you know, everyone kind of has to find, the couple way of dealing with things, as you said.
Yeah. But thank you for bringing this to our attention, though, because this apology stuff, I had never heard of that before. So I have to say, this is probably the first deep dive that I truly had to research. Because I was just like, apology language.
But I don't argue, though. And also, I'm right. What do you mean?
Yeah, bitches are wrong.
It's funny that you asked me about how, because I didn't even think about how I've apologized. It was just like, how have I received them? But it's very naive to walk through this life thinking you're not going to upset people, because no one intends to, but it can happen. You never know.
Yeah.
Which is why I think, like, the first thing you got to do is just be like, my bad. That was me, you know? And also whether or not you think it's valid or not, because that can be a sticking point with some people as well. Like, they might not understand why something has upset you the way that it has. And sometimes it's not for you to understand. All you need to know is that it hurt that person.
Yeah.
And you lead with that.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing, definitely. Again, it was interesting that the expressing request forgiveness wasn't something that we acknowledged. I felt the same about expressing regret. I felt that, again, that was more about the individual who had done wrong, more than, the person that had been wronged. But to make you guys laugh, for Christmas, my brother got my little one a tote bag, and it says on it, "I'm not arguing, I'm just telling you how I'm right." Perfect.
Why is he giving her ideas?
Perfect for this
and
child.
She's so strong-willed as it is. Oh dear. Okay, so let's
we
move
go
on to forgiveness languages, which again, hadn't thought of before you brought this to the table.
Well, yes, it's interesting because apology and forgiveness, like when I Googled and had a look at things, they were so similar. And then I found, again, not so much like what is your language, but 4 R's of forgiveness. And it was like, these are the different stages. So I guess it's more, which ones do you find easier? Which ones do you find harder of the 4 R's? Okay.
Can you just remind us what they are? Or remind me?
Of course I can. Of course. Responsibility. What part did you play in the wrongdoing, if there was any part? And do you take ownership of the part that you played? Remorse. Allowing space for the others to feel bad about what they did and walk through their feelings of shame. Restoration. So that's vulnerability, courage, and strength to apologize first, even if you are owed an apology. And renewal. So moving forward without resentment, an open heart, an open mind, and committing to putting the conflict behind you.
Number 4, I can't do that. I struggle with it. It's still there.
It is a tough one. It did say, like, if you still have questions and thoughts about the wrongdoing, then you can't move into the renewal phase.
Yeah, struggle.
How are you with the first one? Responsibility, taking ownership for your part.
That I haven't got a problem with. I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with feeling remorse or giving people space to feel their feelings. The restitution bit is probably the second that I struggle with. But it's not necessarily holding a grudge. I just struggle to let things go in general. And this goes to a deep, deep place of me, of why it happened to me, or what was my role in this. And so then it goes back to identity. And we've spoken about this on previous episodes, that I have a journey to go on with this. I think I have a strong relationship with the word why. Clarity before I can move on is a thing. And so letting go is a tricky one. I feel like with time it gets easier. But yeah, I'm not a graceful I'm not a graceful person to like forgive and forget. I think there's always an element of I've been done wrong, and I think I expect to be done wrong so often that I guess it's just something I struggle with and need to do better. But I think I will only be able to do that with therapy. I don't feel as though that's a journey I can go on my own. I don't have the tools or the knowledge in order to take me to the next steps. So therapy is the only way that I'm going to be able to improve in those areas.
I feel like I need specific things to answer about like what I can forgive. to be honest, because I feel like most things, I just chalk it up to people being human. You know, a lot I can let go of.
Mm-hmm.
But like, the only thing that's coming to mind for me in terms of forgiveness is infidelity. And that I thought I could forgive, but no. There's no rug big enough. I learned to sweep that under. Because when that happened to me, it was just, I thought I had like dealt with it, but I hadn't. I had just chosen not to look at it. But it felt like forgiveness because the habit that I was in was letting things go. So that was just like another thing to let go for the greater good. But like the way that shit ate me up, it was just like, oh, okay, this is a hard boundary for you. And there's kind of no forgiving for it. I have been able to over the years, but that's because there's like a cavern between us now. Do you know what I mean? I don't have to deal with that person anymore. And time has passed and I have grown. So I've been able to see, you know, the whys and stuff. But outside of that, I think I could pretty much, I feel like I could forgive most things. It's hard for me to generalize. I feel like I need specifics.
Is there? So I need to just.
Yeah,
I need
please.
to just.
Come and co-chat.
When you're talking about infidelity, are you talking about that specific scenario or blanket? Because I feel like there could be a lot of things tied up in infidelity that could perhaps, I don't know, a way of forgiving could be taken on different to the scenario that you're speaking of. For example, not necessarily why it happened, but how it went about, how you found out, how they behaved afterwards, how acts were conducted after, all of these things. Because I'm sorry, I'm bringing it back to me. Not that I know I have been cheated on ever, but I feel as though I could probably forgive infidelity depending on the situation. But I get where you're coming from with that scenario.
Yeah, my scenario was very, very layered. You know, it was very layered. There were many layers to that. It wasn't like it was a one-off situation, you know. It was a whole other life was happening. So yeah, that's probably why in that circumstance, but I would say I couldn't forgive it. But I don't know. I mean, I just don't know I'd be able to look at the person the same again after that. It's just, yeah, I'm sort of re-feeling old things right now. I don't know if I'd be able to look at the person the same. And for me, I just kind of feel like what would be the point? But I have seen people rebuild from infidelity. So I know it can be done. And it all depends on, again, how the other person, not necessarily so much the reasons, but the actions that follow. You know, are you really sorry? Are you showing me that you're really sorry? Yeah.
I
don't know how else I can go on without giving too much of my business away, to be honest.
Fair. I was going to say, I think when I thought about the forgiveness, it definitely tied back to how I would see myself apologizing and how I would want to be apologized to. So in that specific scenario, you know, the exception of responsibility, the making restitution, the planned change, you know, it was all of those things. So I think, you know, like what Amy was saying in terms of forgiving, it does depend on how that person apologizes for me, how soon I would choose to forgive them. Like, I know for me, I don't like when someone can't accept their responsibility. So the responsibility, I'm happy to accept I did wrong. I'm human. I accept I'm human. I accept other people are human. So I expect everyone to do wrong, but not in a, smite you down type of way. It's just like, this is just who we are,
Yeah.
Everyone's going to make mistakes. But if you can't see that within yourself, don't come to me asking me to take responsibility for me being human when you can't admit that you're human. No one is superhuman in this world that they are going to be perfect all the time. Just say you're sorry. Just admit that you're human. So yeah, that was a big thing for me. But when I first thought about what is my forgiveness language, I thought sleep.
Sleep.
Sleep is my forgiveness language. Let me get a good night's rest, wake up in the morning, and I will more than likely have forgotten what you did wrong yesterday.
Interesting.
That helps. Maybe that's just in parenting, but it definitely helps.
I don't know, maybe it's just the space. I definitely need time to process information. And it's not just because I'm not saying anything doesn't mean that that's me. Like, I'm not giving cold shoulder. I just need a moment to go over it. And I guess it goes to the thing that you said when we were talking about apologies. Like, is this going to matter in 5 minutes, 5 months, 5 days, whatever? Like, that is how important is this thing?
Yeah.
Can I see an opportunity for us to work through it? If I can't, then obviously it's just going to be this is what happened. This is how I feel about it. I, in this moment, can't see past it. So no apology. There is no forgiveness in this moment. If I reach it, then I will come to you and I will be the one to say, okay, this is where I'm at now. And I'm opening, the doors are open if you want to rebuild at that point. And if I can't get to that point, then I can't get to that point. I think, like, where there's like forgiveness, there has to be an apology, there has to be a movement for apology, then there has to be space for forgiveness to happen. And in some circumstances, that just isn't going to be the case, depending on what happened. Like, I cannot take disrespect. I can't take it. Same for, it could be as small as arrive on time, or it could be something massive. It's just a case of, respecting each other. And there's only going to be a certain number of opportunities where I'm going to allow you the space to recognize that, and then I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm not going to waste my energy on it. So I think the forgiveness thing it was hard for me to think about, because I guess there may have been a couple of things where I need to consider forgiveness, but most of it is like, you learn from it. We've spoken about it.
Yeah. I couldn't think of any incidences really where I've had to be like, apart from the obvious one that I was just spoken about, and I was thinking, is that just because I let too much go? Is that because I am an emotional avoidant? Do you know what I mean? Because I don't like confrontation either. I really don't. But I struggled because I couldn't really think of too many incidences. So then I was kind of just like, coming up with hypotheticals, and it's just, I don't know. I think that's my answer. I actually don't know. I don't know. I've not had too many incidences where I've had to forgiven something, or where I've done something so wrong to someone that I've had to, really lay it all out on the line. I don't know whether that's a good or a bad thing, to be honest. I'm not sure. I feel like the people in my life,
Something to reflect on.
Literally, I feel like the people in my life, if I had done something, that they would bring it to my attention. And, you know, of course, I'm going to accept accountability for that. Of course. So yeah, I've got to dwell on that one. Am I letting too much go, or am I just that much of a people pleaser where I can't even identify the need?
Yeah, I think it is an interesting one.
I was thinking about parents, not that we want to go there now, but just like things, situations that's happened that, you know, I saw this really interesting thing again on Instagram, and it was about mothers and daughters, and it was about
God. It was right. Get up. No, not really.
It was just about how, or the reasons why mums always play the victim. And it was this relationship about being the mother. The mothers are always right. And so that's why your mum will always play the victim, because in her head, as the mum, she is always right. So when something is shown to her that she hasn't done right, she's like, no, that can't be it. There's something else that's going on. It's not me. If I can find the video, I'll share it with you. But it was so interesting because I was thinking this whole forgiveness thing. I'm sure there have been times, I definitely know for myself, like I years ago came across a situation where I felt like I wasn't getting the same attention from my mother as my sister was. And so I was recognizing there was resentment building up between me and my sister, not between us. I had resentment for her because of the attention that she was getting. And I didn't hold it against her really, because I was like, she's just being her and she's getting attention. I was helped through therapy to get to this place, right? So I realized that I needed to have a conversation with my mum because I wanted the attention, and I needed to bring it to her attention that I felt bad I wasn't getting it, right? So cut to a public place, because ain't nobody having this done in private. No, I felt like it was probably the best place to do it because it meant I could regulate emotions. So there wouldn't necessarily be a flare up, and I would have to intentionally choose the words so that I wasn't, taking it to a place. She received the feedback incredibly well, was not aware of it. And actually, in terms of reasonings for it, was just because I was independent. And so as being independent, didn't feel I needed the support.
Yeah.
So, but I had to communicate that of this is what I need from you. This is what I'm missing from you. And open the conversation. But I was going into it, I was shitting bricks, because how can you tell? Honestly, my thought was, how do I tell my mum she did something wrong to me? Yeah. I felt she did something wrong to me. Right? But this is what I needed. And it's also something how do they know? How can they know unless you tell them?
Yeah.
So
as anybody, really.
Exactly.
If it's something that's present day happening, no one's a mind reader. We're all just kind of going along thinking we're doing the best that we can. We never hurt intentionally unless we're assholes, and we're not. So, But yeah, you're right. If you feel the way you have to say and give space for the person to try and do better.
Yeah. I mean,
good
if
on
they
you.
can.
If good they can, on you for saying it. And good on Mama L for receiving it as well.
Yeah.
Because that's really tough. Really, really tough. When you're trying to do your best.
Yeah, exactly. You can only do your best with what you've, with what you've got. And I think as a prime example of where feedback is really, really useful is just, she took it on board and she did the change, the plan change. She changed.
Nice.
So when there was other situations and she showed up and I was like, thank you. That makes me feel heard. That makes me feel valued. I think that's where you're talking about this whole apology stuff and the forgiveness bit. That is where the space was given and I saw something different. The behavior I wanted and I communicated was done. And I was like, okay, we can let that go now because that has been renewed. We're in a good place and it continues to happen and I continue to communicate. But that's something I had to learn through therapy. That's how I know the letting go thing still needs work.
Yeah. I like it.
I mean, the whole letting go thing really is for us though, isn't it? It's never about the other person, right?
Yeah. It is. I mean, it's what you hold inside your own body. It's not affecting their body necessarily. It's affecting us and how we move forward with things. So yeah, it is about what we are choosing to do. But yeah, no. I like that. You know what they say? Check on your strong friends. Check on your strong children as well. They need just as much parenting as the not so strong ones. I don't want to say weak, not so strong.
No, I think, do you know what? I think a lot of it is, and this is taking down another deep pathway. We don't have time for this. I feel like a lot of the strength comes from survival.
Yeah.
Needing to be strong.
Yeah.
So yes, definitely check in on the strong ones because they might come across at the front, might be, I've got shit handled. And yet what's going on inside, the turmoil that's going on inside to keep them there. And there's only so much or so long you can hold yourself up for. So be there for each other.
That's true. That's just going to say a lot of it comes down to being strong is that lack of, or that seemingly lack of community. A lot of us are just out here on little islands by ourselves, trying to do the best that we can, not wanting to so-called burden anyone else. So we just get on with it. And then, we pass out because, as you said, there's only so long that you can hold yourself up for.
You can't pour from an empty cup. That's my favorite phrase.
Yeah.
She says with half a cup.
But that's the thing, is also being open to receiving said help,
Yeah. Yes.
We have to really what's that phrase I came up with? Sort of tread that track of saying yes to the help. Again, it might not be done the way in the way in which you want it to be done. We may not get it the time that we exactly need it, but if it's there, just say yes. Get comfortable with saying yes and letting people help and love us.
That's definitely a lesson for me and something that has come up in this period of time that we're in at the moment. My brother has been staying with me because he's not a UK resident. And I have been just doing things around my house as I normally do. I get up, I get them done. And he's just like, you look like you're struggling. Do you actually want any help? Like, no, I can do it. It's fine. The help is being offered to you. Why? What is it in me that's not accepting it, that can't just say, yes, I would like some help. Yeah. Can you help me? Those words, how often do we say it?
Never.
You help me? Will you help me?
Unless it's a prayer. Please. Apart from, there's no walking being that I have called and been like, hey, would you mind? It's so hard to say.
Maybe that's something to work on,
Yeah.
Can you
definitely
help me?
something to work on. definitely something. I like remember when my cousin's husband came over with my cousin, obviously, and the very small thing of him picking up like the rubbish bag to take down the stairs, I was just like, what are you doing? He was like, what are you doing? Like, leave the bag, I have it. It's just like, oh yeah, sure. Like, other people can do things for you, you know? But it was just such a knee-jerk reaction to just get on with it. It's a hard one to break. We've just been doing it for so long. That's what it is. And we think it's the norm. Well, no, I don't even think that we think it's the norm. It's just what we are used to, you know? But yeah.
I'm going to ask you guys more often. I'll try it. I'll try.
What, to ask for help?
Absolutely. I mean, there are things that are within both of your skill sets that are not within my skill set. So, you know, I need to do more on leaning in on what you guys are fantabulous try not to struggle myself in doing it.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. I'm the same. I just don't want to I feel like I don't think it's a conscious thought, but I think subconsciously, I just don't want to seem stupid and incapable and not knowing things that I think I should know, but really, how am I going to know if I don't ask for help? So we don't know everything, you know? I think that's something that holds me back from reaching out. Just you should be able to do this. But yeah,
that went really deep.
Well, damn.
That's what the deep dive's for.
Literally. All right. Transition. Okay. I think that deep dive was deep enough. Let's get out of this pool, dry off, and grab some popcorn and head over briefly to the media circus and see what tomfoolery. Have I said the word tomfoolery?
Not today.
See what tomfoolery. Oh, okay. See what tomfoolery the internet have for us. Ames, I think you said you found a dilemma.
Dilemma, or no stupid question. So got this from Reddit. So I'm intrigued because it's what should I do? So let's pose a question to the two of you. Okay. So I, 31 female, found that my boyfriend, 31 male, is on Grindr. One morning, as he was getting ready for work, we were talking in the kitchen when his phone lit up with app suggestions from Siri, and I noticed the Grindr app. I got curious, thinking maybe I was just seeing things. There's no way he could be on there. He sometimes acts homophobic, or if I touch his butt, he'll act really defensive. I'm guilty of that. So I downloaded the app on my phone, created a fake account, and lo and behold, I found his. I started a conversation and he sent pictures of his butt. This has been weighing down on me for the last few days, and as a result, we've been arguing more. I don't know how to confront him about it. I don't know what to say or how to bring it up. I don't know what to think. He's cheating on me, but because of how he's cheating on me makes me think or feel like it's harder to confront. What do I do?
So specifically, Grindr is ... You don't know
what Grindr is?
It's a gay app.
It's basically Tinder, but for gays, and it's it's like the ultimate Tinder.
Okay.
Yeah, so I guess she was assuming he was straight up, and now it turns out he is not so much. And yet acting very defensively if she's playing around with him and acting very homophobic. So, I mean, how would you approach it?
I mean, I think you just have to bring it up. There's no way. I don't know the words exactly. It would just be like, hey, you on Grindr? How come? do you know
As
what
you're
I mean?
passing the gravy.
Hey, you only quite like, really? It's just, I mean, either he's gonna deny or admit to it. If he admits to it, then the conversation will proceed as it will, you know? If he denies it, I think that's when it's tricky. Because if you feel like you're being cheated on, I feel like it's harder to leave when there's no like proper clear-cut evidence. A lot of things can be explained away. And if you're like, you know, locked in head over heels, some of those excuses will land and you could be there for, you know, however long else you're there for. But I've lost my train of thought.
Cut to K.
I don't know. Yeah. Leave.
For me, I would be like, can you help me get my suitcases down from the loft? Because I'm leaving your ass.
Shit.
I mean, what could he say that would make me stay? And it's not about him. He's going through his own journey. He's dealing with his own things. There's things he needs to figure out. That's a you problem, not a me problem. It's a me problem if I'm choosing to stumble through whatever it is that you are discovering about yourself. And that's not going to be good for me. So my thing is, clearly, either I'm not woman enough for you, or there is something else there that you want to explore. Go do that. Let's cut ways. You know, yes, I feel hurt because you should have been able to come to me to talk about this and express whatever kind of thing rather than sneaking behind my back. But before things get much worse and I really start to resent you and you really start to hurt me, let's just cut it. Let's go. Done. Peace out.
Yeah.
Infidelity. Yeah. Infidelity is infidelity, really. I don't know. I'll give it some more thought as to whether if it's a bigger deal because it's like with guys, because again, that's that person, that's his journey and not hers. Do you know what I mean? He might be bi, where he's attracted to both, or given that there's some homophobia there's obviously internalized homophobia. So maybe he's phobia. What is that? Internal homophobia. Oh my God. I can do words, I promise.
That could just be conflict with self, though.
Then, yeah, exactly. But that is a journey he absolutely needs to go on, ideally alone. But there are some people that don't know how to be by themselves. In that case, he may be feeling like he needs to conform to what's being expected of him, or be in a very deep sense of denial. But yeah, if you've got the app and you're like sending pictures with the quickness, here is not where you want to be. So I'm out. I like that. Can you help me with my suitcases? Yeah. So it just depends on whether or not you want to actually hear him say, yes, this is what's happening, or if seeing the app is enough. If getting pictures sent to you is enough. Really, it's enough. But for someone that might need like the whole story, then it's a case of, how do I bring this up to him? You know, maybe the only thing that needs to be brought up is that, you know, leave my house or I'm leaving now.
Yeah. It's a kind of case of, you know, this is what has happened. I know this to be true. And I'm not willing to accept. There is nothing that you can say to me that will change my mind. So either I'm packing my bags or you're packing your bags, but we're done. We're done. And good luck with your journey.
Absolutely.
All the best.
My boundary is, this is what I want from my partner. Grinder, sending pictures of butts is not what I want from my partner. So it's time for you to no longer be my partner. I mean, can you imagine me sending you guys a voice note saying, okay, so weird thing happened today, by the way. This person, the love of my life, the person I have chosen to be with for blah, 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 blah. He sent me a picture of his butt. You'd be like, yeah, but that's normal. No, he sent my fake profile a picture of his butt. You what? What? Yes, girl. Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Be like, no.
How accurate that conversation actually is. Go, what? Share it.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so I have another scenario. Oh, go on.
Ooh. No. Go for it.
I was thinking, because again, we stand up for the rights of our friends more than we do ourselves. So what if you were receiving that voice note when someone said, hey, by the way, what would you say to your friend?
It depends what my friend is saying.
The scenario.
No, but I mean, what should I do? How should I bring it to him? I would need her to tell me what she wants to do.
Outcome.
Do you want to work this out, or are you trying to, how do you say you're getting up out of there? Because I'm your friend, so I'm going to support your decisions. So I need to know what you want, and then I can help you out. Because it's not always for us to be like, girl, you crazy, get the hell out. Because different people have different tolerance levels. Do you know what I mean? Maybe they open up their relationship or something. Who knows? So I would want to know what outcome my friend wants before saying anything.
That's a good one. Ames?
I don't know. I think internally I'd be like, let me get my sock and hat on. Yeah. Let me come round in the dead of night kind of scenario. But then that's what I would be thinking to myself. I'm ready to fight. But I'd probably ask the question, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? And then let them kind of talk it out.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the problem is going to be when you're in your feelings, not as a person hearing it, but the person that's happened to, there's a lot of shame. Regardless of the Grindr, Tinder situ, there's a lot of shame. And so if you wanted to work things out, you're going to be like, am I going to come across as weak? How is this going to come across? Do I really say what I want to say? Or am I just hearing? Yeah. There's a lot going on. So what I say will be dependent on the relationship I have with the person. But if it was one of you two, one, yes, obviously I'm going to be there to fight. But two, I would be like, whatever your decision is, there is no judgment, because there never is. So let's talk through the options. Let's talk about if you do want to take this person back and work it through. Let's talk about if you want to end it, how to approach it, so you have options. Because in the moment, you might come to the table, literal table, and they present themselves, and you're like, do you know what? Fuck it, you're done. Or it's come to light that I've come across this information, and this is what I want from it, but I'm here to hear your side of the story. So,
okay.
I mean, one thing the audience has to know about Ames, she is always ready to fight. Always. I have been there. I have seen it. There have been scenarios. Always ready to.
And what's jokes? What's jokes is I have said literally on this same episode, I don't like confrontation. But if confrontation is on the cards, I will fuck you up. I will. regardless of whether or not I actually physically can, I will go in there with the mentality that me and you, we got beef and you are going down.
Yeah.
Loyalty.
I never want to see that side of you.
Loyalty. It won't be to you. It won't be to you.
No, I know. But I'm just like, that fire is there.
I think actually, Kate, you
behind the eyes.
You said, behind the eyes. You sent a post once, and it was just like, I'm that friend that I'm down for anything, like the going to the gym, the brunch, aggravated assault. Down. Down.
On the same day.
Yeah. For real. I think it comes down to the fact that, like, from the loyalty aspect for me, if anyone steps to someone that I love and hurts them, intentional or no, we have problems. Me and you, I'm not even part of the situation, but me and you have beef. We have an issue. So yeah. And it's hard to get that trust back. You might forgive them. I definitely won't. It'll take time. Oh, we know.
And that's why you got to ask your friend first, like, what do you want from the situation? Because if you go in guns blazing with, leave him, he's terrible, and then they stay, awkward.
It's awkward.
Like, we can't hang out anymore.
It is awkward, but if you value your friendship with your friend, you will make it happen.
Of course. Yeah, you're being your best behavior, but
defo.
Forever side-eyed.
Yeah.
Yeah. 8 days.
That was a good one.
I have enjoyed this.
We learned some things.
Yay.
Yes. This was a good one.
How have you felt about it, Kay?
Under pressure. Yeah, there we go. I'm just like, you guys are very natural at this. You know, it just flows so nicely and smoothly and seemingly seamlessly and all of this type of thing. So yeah, it's very different for me.
Being on this side of it.
Absolutely.
Wait till you see the playback.
I will go back to just listening. Thanks.
We appreciate that for sure.
Yes, accepting the compliments. Thank you.
Yeah. There was something I wanted to read to you guys though before we completely wrap up. Yes. So I have these self-care cards, and I was flicking through them today to leave you guys with a little bit of me love as I, gracefully exit out of this episode. So the quote is, when you recover or discover something that nourishes your soul and brings care enough about yourself to make room for it in your life. So my advice to anyone who finds this podcast is joy for themselves. Take time to listen, participate, ask questions, comment back, and everything like that. So yeah, that's my love for you guys.
Oh, lady. That's so nice. And that also means you got to come back. You are the joy, babes.
I didn't say that.
You did, though.
Not in my calendar.
You did. You two are the joy.
Here are the 2 lines, and you were right there.
This was hard enough, okay? And I'm going to cringe every minute of watching the posts, the whole episode, everything like that. You two are great. I'm a silent partner in the background, cheering you on.
Listen, you are part of this trifecta. You're part of the trifecta. If we're great, that can only mean that you are great too. We are reflections of each other.
Oh, girl.
No, you can't say anything else. Just thank you.
And bringing the episode to a wrap.
Let's do just that. Thank you all so much for deciding to press play today. There's so many other podcast options out there, but today was the day that you chose us. Thank you so much. This is also the part where we ask you to do all of the things. So if you're listening, well, wherever you're listening, hit the follow button so we end up in your feed every Tuesday. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. In fact, do it right now. It's like right there. Let's just pause for a moment. And done. It's right there. That can be your cardio for the day. You've done it. If you're watching or listening on Spotify, how about giving us a review? We've not asked for that yet. Give us a review on Spotify. If you're not sure how many stars, 5. And also share. If there's anyone you feel like could do with a bit of joy today, send us right on over. We're liven the day up a little bit. Ladies, thank you, Kay, being our first guest. We're honoured. It's been a privilege and so fun. You made me think about things I didn't want to. Thank you for that. But it's all part of the growth, you know, and that's why I'm some resemblance of an adult now, because I have someone in my life like you that makes me, you know, go deeper.
Deep. Amykins,
as always, it's been a pleasure.
Right back at ya.
Any last words for the people?
No, I guess just you were saying about, you know, us being amazing. Listeners also very much amazing. Not just for listening, just in general. Keep on.
Yes, know that about yourself.
Well, bye. Guys, yeah, I mean, it's been one.
It's been many. I feel like this is another marathon episode. So again, silver cloaks and electrolytes are on the way.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.